right, so we are recording and we're going live on Facebook too. So to everyone on Facebook, to everyone on Zoom, to everyone on the recorded version, then our obeisances to you, appreciation to you all, one by one. I can see who's on Zoom, and definitely appreciation to each of you here. And one person who's not on Zoom, he's sitting right beside me. Leela Moy Prabhu is here. And we started with but we only have 3 chairs here. And then it may be we'll have more and more devotees come. But Leela Moy made a good point. If we move here where more devotees can sitting on the floor, nobody will come. If we just stayed in the chairs, and everyone will come because there won't be space. So this was after we moved. So anyway, we may expect more to be with us. In the meantime, let us begin, and let us begin with the chanting of our mini Vandanam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Gunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sarvaitam Saverutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Param Sahaganalam Lakaya Chakshuran Gurave Namaha. Namo. We're all frozen. Are you using what?
Mine.
What?
My connection.
With what?
AIS.
Mine's AIS too.
Okay, bye. Oh, no.
You see, it's AIS goes down.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Well, we are using 2 different internets, but it's the same company, and both of us froze. So anyhow, please excuse. Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gora Tvije Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So first of all, is our sound okay? Is it clear or it's good? Okay, very good. I just asked just to make sure. All right, so here we are in Zoom. I don't have Facebook on. I'm a bit afraid to turn it on, that the internet may not be able to hold it. But here we are with the devotees, our family of devotees here together with our Back to Basics program. And for the first time since being in Thailand, we have Sri Lekha Devi Dasi, who's back in Sweet Lake City, and we love to hear from you and some reflections on returning to Salt Lake City. You were here with so many of your family, and we had the Hari Dev looking after things when you were away. And any news from Salt Lake City, and in the theme of Back to Basics, you can maybe share something, Sri Lekha Devi. The microphone, click on, turn on your microphone, please.
Dandavat Maharaj. And Lila, very nice to see you. Yeah, last week I was too tired to participate, and then I saw a picture the next day, and I was very sad that I had missed this meeting. But anyway, here we are, and Dandavat to everybody. It's just I've been really missing this meeting. So yes, coming back to Salt Lake City it's just I have I mean, this is my particular place where I live, and many services come that I'm trying to do, especially taking care of Tulsi Devi. Is now it's getting a little cold, so Tulsi Devi's come inside for the winter, and we're setting up all the lights and making sure everything is good for her. And the Tulsis grew so much during the summer that we had to really expand the area for her to to be in. And yesterday, a few days ago, one Prabhu that we had never met, he's been reading the books for 25 years, never been to a temple. And he suddenly contacted us and said, I want to come there. So he came there and he took initiation yesterday. From Sri Panyasi Maharaj. Now his name is Ramakeli Prabhu. Very, very nice devotee. Yeah, so we're going on and looking forward to Srila Gurudev's appearance coming up. And so on, Maharaj. There's always something to do in the temple. New everything coming. So that is ours. And as far as my own, I was just listening to a class, Guru Maharaj is talking about it's one of my favorite classes, talking about the verse Om Tat Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pasyanti Suraya Diviva Chakshuratatam. And it's very beautiful verse, and Srila Guru Maharaj talks about how we must remember that our guardian is so close to us, actually. He's so close to us, just above our head like the sun. And like the great eye of the sun, he's always there. He's always with us and witnessing us. And to do everything with that remembrance that the Lord is there with us, the Lord is there with me, and what shall I do? And try to be in a mood of surrender. And remember that everything is coming from our divine guardian. It's a really very beautiful class. It's on YouTube, actually, but I forget. It's just in my favorites folder, so I don't remember the name of this class, but it's a very sweet. Just the remembrance that at all times we can be bowing down to our guardian and trying to remember that he is there, and that all the circumstances that are coming to us are his arrangement to pull us in, to pull us towards him. So, it's hard sometimes to remember that Krishna consciousness is living. It's a living thing, that the Lord is living and his will is living. And we can begin to try to pray, to be a participant in that rather than something with our own agenda. That is a very lonely and isolating position that we've been in for a very long time. So that was just a few thoughts, Maharaj.
Right. Happily hearing your thoughts. And just a quick question, Hari Dev Prabhu, he's there? He's continuing?
Yes. Very, very well. He's always taking on more and more responsibility. He's just he's very super caring about his service and his spiritual life. And he always asks very good, honest questions and sharing. He always wants to go out. Actually, the younger generation always wants to go out. If there's a Harinam Sankirtan, all of them from all over the city who are connected with the temple, they all want to go out. They want to distribute, they want to talk to people. They have that real strong nature. And Brajamohini Didi is here, and she's also so super enthusiastic about that. So that's going on also. Yeah, he's doing really well, Maharaj, in my view, very much.
All right, so good to hear some news from that. And as I mentioned when we first connected today, that I do have a class that's been, maybe it was Sevarupa who sent the link, I'm not sure. But one of the good souls, they sent a link, said, you must listen to this class, it is very good, by Surya Shampoo. I will happily listen to it.
Okay.
Jai.
Yeah.
So Nirupama Devi Dasi is with us also from Ukraine. Nirupama, Govinda, Govinda. And she has to remember very carefully also Krishna at every step. She's in a little, going to or in a little bit of a dangerous place right now and doing some necessary duties. Always remember Krishna. Remember Krishna. And when things are a little comfortable and apparently safe around us, then it's so easy to forget Krishna. But with the same intensity, whether there's obvious danger or apparently no danger, same intensity, we should try to be Krishna-centered in our thoughts. So anyway, Nirupama, our best wishes to you. I will speak slowly, because perhaps you're not using your English so much now you're in Ukraine. And about Ukrainians, Audarya Leela Devi Dasi just arrived in Vila Govinda Ashram. And also Kum Devi Dasi arrived. And are we frozen? Yeah, we froze again.
Now you're not. It's just a little, for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, last year the internet here was quite good. This year, they're having some challenges. I'm sure there's a reason. The Krishna is the reason. I forgot already. Krishna is the reason. So we can appreciate even more when things go smoothly with the internet. And we do take all this for granted. This often we say, but not to take for granted. And for instance, this morning, we are in the Sky Shala doing the morning program, means the first story, English first story, American second story, of the rice hut on the other side of the little pond. And so this morning, we are connecting to the ether, to Guru Maharaj. And we're seeing Srila Guru Maharaj from almost this date. We tried to find a date, but it was from the 7th of November of 1982. And so this morning, because it's still a little bit dark, the sun hasn't fully come up when we finished the arti in the parikrama. And so we took the opportunity, as we do, to listen to and watch when we can. To use this technology only for its purpose. With any energy, we must try to use all energy for devotional purpose. With great energy, great power comes great responsibility. One of the previous presidents of the United States said, I believe, maybe accredited to one of the presidents. But when there's great power, we can use power to do right, we can use power to do wrong. And the obvious example, the atom, splitting the atom, getting energy from a tiny thing, an atom, so much energy can be used for destruction, and it can be used for the opposite of destruction. It can be used to give energy for all the things that we can use it for in a positive way. So anyhow, yes, so our internet sometimes comes and goes, but it's to remind us too not to take anything for granted, and while we can, to have association, while we can, to share. And what was Srila Guru Maharaj saying this morning? We can ask Leela Moy Prabhu, one thing Guru Maharaj was saying this morning. He's going to answer, but you only ask us to remember until breakfast time. Yeah. We already had breakfast. Yeah. Okay, one thing from this morning, at least we can say, talking about, these inventions, electricity and everything. He's saying how ether can flow anywhere. It flows through wood, it can flow through all kinds of things, but wood or stone cannot enter into ether. The gross cannot go to the more subtle. And then we in the West, we're not really brought up with the idea of ether so much. We're thinking rather, solid things like air. But then when you think about air, the scientists were struggling so much to understand how can light travel through a vacuum. So then, start thinking about ether. But from ether, then you get the more and more gross things. And similarly, in Krishna consciousness, Krishna is the finest of the fine. It's from him that everything is coming. From him, he can pass everywhere. He can come to us, but we are gross. We cannot enter there, just like stone and wood cannot enter into ether. Or iron cannot enter into electricity, but electricity can go through iron. So Guru Maharaj is giving this example to a devotee, who Sri Lekha and I both know quite well, a devotee who was asking questions to Guru Maharaj. And Guru Maharaj explained in a very... He's asking, so do you need further? And then from the devotee, he got a a bit of a like a not a positive. Oh, we're frozen. You're frozen too, is it? Oh wow, sorry about this internet. We gotta have two different. Are we back? Hare Krishna. Very sorry. Leelamoy is gone running off to try to get another carrier, another company's SIM, because we're both using the same one. Anyhow, I don't know where we got cut off. I'm sorry. But iron cannot enter into electricity, but electricity can go through iron. And so the gross cannot itself force its way into the subtle. And so this way we are gross. The Jiva soul is gross compared with Krishna. Are we alive or are we frozen? Alive, okay. You're all sitting very still, then I thought we are frozen. Okay, so anyway, this is one point that Guru Maharaj was saying this morning, and hence Krishna, he can make himself known to us, but we cannot force our way to know Krishna. And then Guru Maharaj also saying that also within a group of people, he can choose who he makes himself known to. There may be many people, but he can choose who he makes himself known to and in what respect, in what aspect, and what degree. So anyhow, this was one topic. Okay, I'm just going to change my internet so you can meditate on what we just heard. Hare Krishna. Somebody move?
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Jai Gauranga Prabhu. Okay, Sri Lekha dancing in ecstasy. All right. Anyway, this is something, but also, I mean, just so you're mentioning that we're sitting with Guru Maharaj this morning. Sometimes we're sitting with Gurudev, sometimes we're sitting with Guru Maharaj, sometimes we're sitting just with the audio. But I know that unfortunately most devotees, even after some time, are not catching so well the audio. So the audio with the subtitles is helpful. So using energy properly, and everything has got its proper use, we'll try to do that. But seeing Guru Maharaj this morning, again, Guru Maharaj was seated with Jajava Maharaj, his dear godbrother, the last sannyas disciple of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and Guru Maharaj happily, you can see the camera is on Guru Maharaj, He's hearing a question, and then he's explaining the question to Jajava Maharaj. And very jolly, happy style. Very beautiful. We don't see much of Jajava Maharaj in this particular recording,
Wow.
but they are there together. So we watched part of this. Like less than 15 minutes. And we do, we just sit there, not too long,
Mhm.
so that we can remember at least at breakfast time, and maybe even longer, something that we hear. Test yourself. You can sit for an hour and you can sit for 10 minutes. At
Yeah.
lunchtime, write down the things you remember. But of course, to be in that environment, even if we don't remember, to be for 1 hour seated with Guru Maharaj. And many things we can get even from a short listening or sitting with Guru Maharaj. Another thing we can get from today's video, by the way, was that there was hammering, like a carpenter was making something in the sound in the background. And we have asked Guru Maharaj previously on different occasions, Guru Maharaj, can we just ask the carpenter to wait until your class is over? Because we're hearing Harikatha, but Guru Maharaj always saying, no, this is the sound of seva. This is happy for me. So Guru Maharaj did not stop seva. He didn't think that, oh, what I'm saying is so much more than what the carpenter is doing. He didn't, it was seva. He's doing his seva, Guru Maharaj is doing his seva. And our seva is to listen more carefully.
Mhm.
Not just, oh, I can't hear him, but to give more attention. And by the way, in the recordings of Guru Maharaj and of Gurudev, if you weren't sitting near the front, then the recordings are often clearer to hear than when you were there in person.
Yeah.
Because unless you were actually close to Guru Maharaj, then it's soft. Guru Maharaj's voice is sweet, beautiful, gentle, soft. But when you're sitting back, you really do have to listen to hear. So there are many ways that we can see the positive side of the recordings.
Maharaj, what year was that recording again?
1982 November. And it was the 7th of November. It's in the Srila Sridhar Maharaj video series.
It's helpful to have a notebook in the classes too, isn't it?
It is, especially whenever we see people on the phone like this, even if you're writing down notes, it doesn't work so well. However, paper, pen, yes.
Yeah, it really helps a lot.
And sometimes there's only the pen and the back of the hand. Hare Krishna. Anyway, different things. So, dear devotees, let us ask something from you. We can ask something from Jai Gauranga Prabhu, because happily I receive updates sending me some messages. But let us hear your devotee voice, Jai Gauranga Prabhu. In Australia, somewhere on the east side of Australia, New South Wales, Jai Gauranga Prabhu, some devotional, positive news. One moment, meditate, think of Gurudev, think of Guru Maharaj. Aparajita and Krishna Priya, we're using your phone, Krishna Priya. Your phone has saved us. Good connection. So we're about to hear from Jai Gauranga Prabhu of Govinda Farm and, yes, Yukai too. Hare Krishna.
Dandavats Maharaj, please excuse, I'm using a new computer and so trying to find how to get the audio to work.
It's doing fine. You're loud and clear, Prabhu.
Okay. Thank you. Dandavat Maharaj, Dandavat to the devotees. Um, very happy to be here with you, um, to see all of you and hopefully you see me. Yeah, just very happy to be here. I re recently, would you like some news, Maharaj, from Australia?
Sure, in the context of, devotional service. So share some positive news with us. Yes.
Okay, so recently, I was lucky to be able to go and spend a bit of time at Sri Govinda, not Sri Govinda Dham, not Sri Govinda Farm, here, which was the temple that Srila Gurudev established in 1992 and then installed Mahaprabhu in 1997. Um, and everything's going on there happily. When I was there recently, Jayanti Didi had just come back from Thailand. She had happily been there with you at Govinda Farm, and now she's back at Govinda Dham. And everybody's busy in Seva. A lot of cleaning and maintenance work is happening because um, it kind of the temple needs a bit of maintaining. But everybody's happy, and yeah, everything's good, carrying on.
What service did you do when you went to the temple?
Um, a lot of cleaning.
Okay.
Yeah, and some I was lucky to be able to do some puja, a bit of for Mahaprabhu, which was nice. I haven't done that there for a while, so that was quite nice. Um, yeah.
Srila Gurudev would probably also ask you, how are the trees?
Oh.
Oh, the trees are good. The fruit trees haven't are producing a little bit, but there's lots of flowers at the moment. Lots of gardenias, some marigolds, some roses. Yeah, but lots of gardenias, which is nice.
Okay, beautiful. And the lawns are nicely mown?
Yes,
Hari
yeah.
Mohan Prabhu doing that seva still? Do you know?
No, he's stepped back from mowing the lawns. Now they have one person that's staying there. He kind of maintains the lawns.
Okay, okay.
Mm,
Jai.
yeah.
Hari Mohan Prabhu mowed those lawns for decades, not only for years. Now he's a little aged. He was aged before, so he's even more aged. Hare Krishna. We're so happy to remember the devotees, and this is also one of the basics of our devotional life, to remember the devotees, appreciate the devotees. And Hari Mohan Prabhu and his wife, Su,
Uh,
Sumanasi,
Sumanasi.
Sumanasi did it. Wonderful. Many children, many responsibilities, a whole extended family covering 30 or 40 30 or 40 people from that family. I mean, really, from there, many children and many grandchildren, they all add up. So some places in the world may be reducing in population, but around there, some increase in the devotee population. Hare Krishna. Yes. Maheshwari Devi Dasi, you're in the top corner of our screen this week, so we can ask Maheshwari what realization, doesn't mean Krishna came in my house and talked to me, but what gave you inspiration this week that you may have done or heard or seen?
Dandavats Maharaj and all devotees. The other night when I was so very tired and I talked a little bit about helping my friends, and was contemplating that afterwards and just realizing, what an honor it is to give service. And, it doesn't always come in the forms that we may think. I mean, I've said many times I'm here in Wisconsin and not exactly surrounded by devotees unless I can get, out to the West Coast and see my family. But even here, giving service to people is really just such an honor. And it really does make me feel connected, and it helps me to remember Krishna. So I'm grateful to, be able to offer that at this time.
Jai. Yes, by giving and naturally giving. We're not doing things to get some result, sense. We're just doing. I remember before trying to be a devotee, okay, before knowing about Krishna consciousness, then one of our relatives, they wanted some work done, which I could do because I knew about vehicles, on their car. And then I happily offered it, I'll do the work. And then she was an aunt, not, well, the aunts, whatever the relationship. Anyway, but lady, she said, oh, and I'll give you so much money because in the garage it'll cost so much. And I just remember thinking and being almost shocked, like, no, I'm not doing it for money. I'm doing it because I know how to do it and I can fix your car, happily. And so, yeah, we don't want to do things like Guru Maharaj said, be mercenary. Only we will do something if I will get something. Mercenary attitude.
No, it just, there's so much suffering in the world that if a little bit of our actions can bring some relief to another person, that is, that is Krishna at work, as far as I am concerned. And it's an honor to be the conduit for that.
And to be a good example of a devotee.
Yes.
Be friends with the neighbors and the relatives and people. And bit by bit, they may just inquire themselves rather than us trying to push things. Because sometimes people resist when they feel someone's preaching to them. We resist.
Indeed.
Hey, Wisconsin is fortunate to have a devotee there. Very auspicious.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Axel is with us after some time too. Hare Krishna, Axel. Welcome. And Kamala Didi, all back home. If you like to share something about returning home and anything that stayed with you from your recent pilgrimages and travels. I know it's late, maybe New York side.
Dandavat, Maharaj, Dandavat, all devotees.
Dandavat.
I have nothing that I can share. I can only say that being back home has made me miss the devotees 10 times more. Just because it's an extreme contrast. So yeah. I'm here serving my family. Basically, my dad just had a pretty serious heart procedure, so it's fallen upon me to kind of be his nurse and driver and cook and all these things. So I'm serving in one way, but I'm definitely missing serving the Vaishnavas.
Yes, Kamala, our heart goes out to you also. The world, it gives us all our own individual lessons, our own individual environment. And we must always try to do the best that we can because Krishna sees everything. And to be selfless is the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. Beginning of Bhagavad Gita, two things. We're not the body, we will be alive forever. We were alive forever. So we're not the body. But then the second thing is, what should we do? The foundation is be selfless. And so this is your nature, Kamala, and Krishna will see everything that you're doing. And as always, try to put Krishna, keep the Krishna element in all of the serving you do to the family. And they can also quietly be having prasadam that you're offering to the Lord and many things like this. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Yes.
I put up a picture of Krishna on my home altar because my dad has one for his Vietnamese side of his family. So I put up a picture of Krishna there, and so my family gets to see him.
Nice. Beautiful. Hare Krishna. And by the way, I don't know what operation your father had, but we have a devotee. Some of you know him, Jai Kumar Prabhu in India, South Indian devotee. And he had something with his heart when he was with a group of devotees on pilgrimage in the Himalayas a few months ago. And he was emergency brought back to Chennai in South India, his hometown. And they did open heart surgery on him. But now he's fine. And this was just a few months ago. And now he's taking again to pilgrimage tours, and he's being very helpful in India. And I was very surprised. So some of these modern heart procedures, they really give some new life, extend the opportunity of a decent life. So, again, modern things we were mentioning at the very beginning about the inventions of Zoom and the internet, etc. But other things in the medical field, what is practical, then we shall try to utilize that. And not, anyway, everything can be properly used and misused. And we have a devotee, by the way, who for the rest of her life will never be able to walk properly. And maybe Srila knows referring to, not necessary to mention any name, the devotee in South America. But I didn't know for a long time what was the cause. And the cause was she went for some plastic surgery to make her body more, beautiful by what standard we think is beauty in this world. And then somehow during the surgery, then some nerve was damaged or something, and very difficult to walk. And now she must be getting older, but she wasn't old, and she even was using the walking cradle. And I thought it was maybe an accident or something that happened, but it was using medicine for our own, to make myself more beautiful. But not to be fair, it happened before she was a devotee. So it may have been Krishna's way to also bring her to be a devotee, because she was a good devotee. So everything, we don't necessarily take the cosmetic surgery side of it, but not judging, we also know devotees do plastic surgery and things. But the heart is what is the main thing. But anyway, your father had not plastic surgery, had heart surgery. So, we hope for good things there. And Gurudev, Srila Govinda Farm, he had a stroke. In India, he had a stroke, and half his body was almost paralyzed, some part quite paralyzed. And his face, for instance, can move one side but not the other side of his face. One arm, very droopy, very weak, all these things. But from the scans and everything, the doctors said at that time, no, this kind of stroke, he will get better. Said this is part of nature. Nature for this kind of stroke, where blood had gone from one of the vessels in the head. The blood had burst, and the blood had killed some brain cells. And but the doctor said, but this kind of stroke, that the other brain cells, they take over the job of the dead brain cells, and he'll get better. And Gurudev did get better, and it was a miracle. It was almost like, and we can't believe that Gurudev is going to be again so better. But it did show, even in very later time, if Gurudev was very disturbed by a devotee, like actually like angry with a devotee, so sad to see, then we saw that potential, that half his face got like a little bit down, and did everything we could possibly do to get the devotee out, calm Gurudev down, and relieve the situation. So the nature is also give some relief. Hare Krishna. Hari Dev Prabhu, we've been asking after you of your seva, and you're pleasing the devotees by your continuous, steady, capable seva. So well done, Hari Dev Prabhu. Good to see you there in Sweet Lake City.
Dandavad, Gurudev. Dandavad, all the devotees. Very fortunate to be here somehow.
Yes, we are all fortunate to be here in this association somehow. Our lucky stars, his own expression. Thank our lucky stars. Hare Krishna. By the way, the question about breaking fast on Ekadashis, because, well, I don't know where you are, if it's Ekadashi or not. First of all, we should follow the Ekadashi calendar calculated by the guidance of Gurudev and Guru Maharaj about how to calculate our calendar, when to follow Ekadashi, to use the calculation that is nearest to wherever we live. So in Salt Lake City or wherever we are, many places they are exactly, but exactly for that location calculated. And just because this, we think everybody knows, but somehow or another, it came up yesterday also, that devotees don't all know. And so a little repetition perhaps for some, but a little emphasis for us all. How Gurudev and Guru Maharaj wanted us to properly follow Ekadashi according to their standard. That doesn't mean fasting, chanting 64 rounds, or this kind of thing, but to simply not take grains on the Ekadashi day, and then to properly break the fast at the time, within the time window that is given in the calendar for your particular place. So the date of wherever your place is, and the time of breaking fast on the next day. And today, the Navadip calendar is something like breaking fast between like 10 a.m., 10 something a.m. Of course, now I don't have the calendar in front of me. But sometimes it's only a few times in a year that it happens like this.
A little late.
Yeah, between 10:38 and 4:50. So that's very unusual. Usually it is soon after sunrise. If you see wherever your calculation, wherever you are, the calculation for your place, you will notice it is generally soon after sunrise is the earliest time you can break, but there is a late time. You can't just break any time, break the fast any time of the day. And what does it mean, breaking fast? Simply to take some grains. And if possible, Mahaprasad, if possible, Jagannath Prasad. But just to take some grains so that you are again onto a regular diet, as it were. So, the whys and wherefores, really, as far as I'm concerned at least, it's because that's what Gurudev and Guru Maharaj want, and we have seen it. It's not that it's an exaggeration we've heard through the grapevine that they want it like this, but this is their stress. And I myself am the example of Guru Maharaj telling me when I'd broken fast too early on one of these occasions. And at that time, I didn't know. I did not know there was an early time, because where we come from, we were told to break fast soon after sunrise. So when you see the sun has come, that's sunrise. And so one day I had broken my fast soon after sunrise, and then had come up to Guru Maharaj's veranda to hear morning darshan from Guru Maharaj. And then one morning we're up there with Guru Maharaj, and then Guru Maharaj at a certain time said, all right, now you should all go and break fast, because today there was like a short window. It's like between 7 a.m. and 7:20 a.m. Sometimes it's quite a short window. And so Guru Maharaj told the devotees to go and break fast. And then everyone's going to go. And I just humbly said to Guru Maharaj, can I stay? Because I already broke fast before coming here after sunrise. And then Guru Maharaj affectionately, but firmly, but strongly said, about how this was wrong, that on this particular day, it wasn't sunrise, it was a bit later. And between those two times we should break fast. Otherwise, it's considered that we have not followed Ekadashi. And we find also in the ancient scripture, we find about, I believe, Durvasa Muni, there was some question about how the fast had to be broken for somebody who'd been fasting. Ambarish Maharaj, right? Ambarish Maharaj had to break a fast, but at the same time, he didn't want to take any food before Durvasa Muni. So these are mentioned in the scripture. So it's not something which is, obviously it's not something whimsical. If it's coming from Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, it is not whimsical. And so I just make this point about how we should observe Ekadashi by not taking grains and beans and those things like that. And then we should break the fast the next day at a particular time. And it is Krishna's day. Ekadashi is the day for Krishna. And the principle is that we minimize our maintenance and we maximize our service to Krishna. And by not taking grains too, we'll be again and again reminded in our thought, oh, today no rice, it's Krishna's day. We're being reminded it's Krishna's day. And still until the next day, we're reminded until we break our fast. So this is just a recap for some, but it is also one of these basics of devotional life. And there is not many things that our gurus expect of us as a minimum requirement when we come to receive initiation. But 4 regulative principles. I've heard Gurudev say repeatedly about how important it is to follow the 4 regulative principles. And that it's the ABC. If we can't do that, then where's the strength of our foundation? So there are the 4 regulative principles. There is the chanting of the holy name, learn the 10 offenses and avoid them. And then there is to follow Ekadashi. This is fully expected from our masters, and this needs to be known, the important things. And you can say other things may be more or less important. Gurudev did like the main devotees. Well, okay, maybe they have short hair, they're going to work or something, but they will keep a shika. But then again, it wasn't that if somebody didn't have a shika, then they're going to be, that it's all very wrong. So I'm just pointing out that there were only a handful of things which really were fully expected, and one fully expected item is to observe Ekadashi, including the breaking fast time. Lekha Devi, are you speaking? Because your microphone's off.
I was just saying, Jai Maharaj, Guru, that's all. But Guru Maharaj saying, Ekadasi, she's also a person. She's Ekadasi Devi, and she and her group, they can't tolerate to spend even a part of a moment not in the service of the Lord. So her day has that mood of this concentrating on the seva. So I wasn't going to say that, but since you said, but yeah, I was thinking about that too. And it's really lovely to be reminded about that. We can pray to her also for the strength to properly observe and please her in her service.
And seated beside Haridev Prabhu, is this our new devotee?
Dandavad Gurudev. Dandavad Gurudev.
Dandavat. And please remind me your good name.
Rama Kelly.
Oh, Rama Kelly. Okay. Just take me a moment. I was
It's
thinking
okay.
Ambikalna, but Rama Kelly.
Yes.
All right. Welcome officially to the family. We know
Thank
your
you. Thank you very much.
devoted heart for several years, we've heard. So Rama Kelly Prabhu ki jai. We can
Jai.
jai to you and all the devotees. Please give him your good wishes, because that is what's valuable. And we wish you really successful devotional life, and you'll get some good tips. You're in a good place to get good tips from many. You're in good association.
I have been crushed many times and made back up, and I will continue letting the Lord do his will. And I have a very beautiful family here in Utah, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity, and I'm going to follow every order you guys give me.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Haribol.
Hari Hari. Well, what orders are we going to give? Don't criticize anyone. Don't see any fault in the devotees. Be humble, tolerant,
Absolutely.
give honor to others. Don't want honor for oneself. Don't get engaged in mundane talks or hear mundane talks. I mean, these are the things which sound so easy, but they're the basis for our safe journey, along with watering that seed of devotion that you received by following the guidance of Guru to chant the holy name of the Lord without offense. So that's it in a nutshell, if you want to hear some guidance. And I think that's what everybody here would give you, the same foundation advice.
Hare
So,
Krishna.
Rama Kelly Prabhu, all good thoughts from all of us to you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the mercy. It's heartfelt, and I won't let you down. I won't let the Lord down.
Jai.
Jai.
Enthusiastic, confident, and patient. Persevere. Hare Krishna. Beautiful.
Actually,
yes, Sri Lekha. Your microphone is off.
I just turned it off instead of on. But when I first saw him, out of the corner of my eye, thought, oh, is that Leela Moy? He reminded me of Leela Moy. His figure is very similar. And I said, do you speak Portuguese or do you speak Spanish? And he says, I speak Spanish. But I don't know. There's just something about Ramakena that reminded me. I don't know if it's a subtle thing, but it was a happy reminder.
He's better looking than me.
He agrees. He agrees.
Yeah, I know. I saw him with the hand gestures, and he speaks Portuguese. I speak Spanish, so you know.
Same.
Yeah. Haribol, brother.
Govinda. The humility of the Vaishnavas. But we know it is all in jest. Jai. Hare Krishna. In the prasadam table the other day, the two devotees having competition of who is more humble than the other one. No, I'm more humble. No, I'm more humble. Nobody got any bruises. It's all right. Hare Krishna. Yes, Bhima Krishna and Ishtadevika, you're sitting there with so many things to say, and you have 3 minutes officially to say it in, but you can have longer. There's no law that says we have to end exactly on the hour.
Dandavat Maharaj, Dandavat to all the devotees. I'm happy to see such a big class today. There's so many people here. It's really sweet. My only thoughts today, I was listening to a class by Vishaka earlier. She does a Zoom class, and she was just talking about Gurudev very sweetly just some of her memories and some of her favorite times with Srila Gurudev. And it was funny. She was telling one story about the light switch. I guess there was some, and she actually mentioned you, Maharaj, how she had been sick for a few days, and then she came in to see Srila Gurudev after she was feeling better, and Gurudev told her to turn the light on, basically. And I think she's mentioned you got a little nervous for her, so you were all, and he didn't specify which light, so I think you got a little nervous, and we're asking which light, Gurudev, and he didn't say anything. He didn't respond, but she said she had just offered her dandavat, so she stood up, but she said she felt inspired and she knew which switch to push, and she pushed this switch, and the light came on, and Gurudev just continued reading like nothing. But in her own self, that it's one of her favorite memories she mentioned, and that's how Gurudev was. We all have these times with Srila Gurudev. Simple things like a smile, we remember that, and that's like a memory we carry with us. Just being in his presence, she mentioned very sweetly too. I mean, there's just something when you're around a Vaishnava of his caliber, just he emanates so many things, and we all feel that in some way or another, and we all have so many beautiful memories. And I remember her talking about him, getting carried upstairs and different things, and just how many times I was fortunate enough to carry Srila Gurudev in his chair, but just feeling that a great responsibility, like how, you can't let Gurudev fall, and I remember carrying him one time. We went down that path behind the temple. They were going to acquire a new property behind the temple, behind Gurudev's veranda. And I remember we carried him down the pathway there, myself and Ramchandra and Ramasundar, L.A. Ramasundar. But we all carried him on his chair for like hundreds of feet, and just because the path was so rickety, we didn't want him, he would just sat and bumped the whole time. But just little memories like these, like I'll never forget those things, because my time, like I was a new devotee at those times going to the temple, and like Gurudev was so merciful to me that, because I always wanted to be close to Gurudev, but he always allowed me right there, considering how new I was. Like I was outside his door. I was, he gave me so much mercy. And I think I've been thinking about it a lot lately, like maybe some regrets of things I, didn't say or whatever. I mean, I never wanted to bother Gurudev and like intrude. So it's always kind of my nature was to sort of stand back. But, I realized that we can still do these things even now in our lives. We can be close, and we can, offer prayers and ask for guidance. And like Lekha Devi said, like our guardian is near, and so we can still have this relationship. Gurudev's not gone, and it's still, I mean, I was probably away from him as much as I was near him while I was there in Navadvip. He was in Calcutta a lot of the times, but still I noticed in my own self, like that relationship, based on my what's the word, but just my intention and, trying to serve Gurudev in whatever capacity I could, like there's still connection there, and you could feel that strongly. And I think we still all can have that in our daily lives even now. But anyway, that's just some thoughts, just thinking about Srila Gurudev, her talk today, Vishaka Didi, like it was just really beautiful, and just made me think of Srila Gurudev and just his sweet nature and just his smile. It's just simple things, but how beautiful and inspiring. Anyway, just to remember that Gurudev is still, he's still near. So my dandavats to you all, and I'm sure my wife wants to say something.
Just a small little thing to add to just something I got from that same class we were watching of Vishaka Didi. Another thing she said about Gurudev was just how there can be so much depth and meaning just in a single glance from Gurudev. And just the meaning and the depth behind what that glance might mean in any moment, and just his smile, something like he was mentioning too, that just been coming up to me regularly recently, like how fortunate we are, any of us who've had the direct association of Gurudev, like just how rare that is, and feeling so blessed, and just and just his smile, even if it's not directed at you, just seeing Gurudev's smile can melt your entire heart. Like that's all it takes, just a single smile. And I don't know, there's just something, it's hard to even describe. You know, I know many of you have had the privilege of being in his association far more often and longer than I have. But just how fortunate we all are and how just indescribable it is to be in Gurudev's presence. So it was really sweet hearing her memories and having some of our own coming back to us, and yeah, what Sri Lekha said, you know, he's always just right above us. So we just, you know, to remember to pray to Gurudev and think of Gurudev. And yes, and Dandavat to you all.
And we need each other to remind ourselves of so many of these pastimes with Gurudev, so many of the expressions, mannerisms of so many things. And actually, Bhima Krishna were reminding us about, you know, carrying Srila Gurudev in his wheelchair. One sense, it was a very sad time because Gurudev was an active person, but in that part of his life, it's sad. I mean, it's so sad to see him in the wheelchair, actually. But still, that was an opportunity for service. This way, so many got service. And I'm not the strongest person in the world, but sometimes we have to be there to be one of the persons carrying Gurudev. And Bhima Krishna said, you can't drop Gurudev. And I remember like so intensely, like holding on and knowing that here in the wheelchair is like the greatest treasure ever, you know, the most valuable thing. And really, one focus, I don't know if we remembered, maybe did try to take Krishna's name, you know, in some way, but how like the full energy to carry him up the stairs and down the stairs. And Gurudev so tolerant of so many things. This was in Dum Dum Park, his veranda was upstairs, and there was a lift shaft built into the building. But the workers, they got the place ready, but every day by day, the workers doing bang, 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 making holes with a chisel and a hammer. And Gurudev, he's hearing it day by day, and then asking, when will they finish? And then anyhow, I wasn't the one who was managing the workers, but then we got to understand, we got somebody, maybe it was the Charge Maharaj, I'm not sure. But it turned out that the contractor who was putting in the lift, it was cheaper for him to have to pay low wage to a man going bang, 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 making holes than to have somebody come with a power drill and take 1 day to drill it all with a drill. And so anyway, some drama with the contractor, and then finally probably with a little money or something, you know, so it was finished in 1 day or 2 days instead of bang, bang. But Gurudev was so tolerant. He was so tolerant about so many things too.
Maharaj, if I could just add something, it's probably unnecessary, but you were talking about the focus that you'd have to have carrying Srila Gurudev. I felt like that time I was walking on that path, I felt like I was kind of being tested in some way or another, because as I was walking, I stepped in some sort of feces, just to put it lightly. And I thought, I like looked down, and I felt it, and I knew what it was, and I couldn't do anything about it. So I just kept going until I could do something about it. But it was kind of one of those things, like, stay focused, like, you know, this doesn't matter, this isn't a concern right now because I have seva to do. But anyway, that's always one of my favorite parts of that story. Anyway, like I said, unnecessary, but you know, these things happen, so we have to continue on with our seva.
And at that time, you had already met Sri Lekha Devi Dasi?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. But I'm sure her words were in your ears. Everything is arranged by the Lord. It's all favored.
But it is true that when you think of a little bit like those kind of things that would normally be this horrible memory of I stepped in this and all of that, but it becomes very sweet in the service of Guru and Gauranga. And I also wanted to say, Maharaj, if you don't mind, just one little thing, that And I've said, I think about this quite a lot because, to remember that the grandfather is so affectionate. And for those who feel, oh, gee, I never got to see Srila Govinda Maharaj, but your connection is certainly there with him, and with extreme affection, that the grandfather is more affectionate than the father. Gurudev said it, Guru Maharaj said it, and we always feel that on Saraswati Thakur's appearance day, that he will never let us go. He won't give up on us. And I feel that everyone should understand that all of our Guru Varga, they're not historical personalities. They are our living guardians. And especially the grandfather is super, super affectionate. So not to feel any kind of, if that's the case, but, sometimes somebody may think like that, but that connection is very real and very much living. And of course, we have our present Gurudevs, especially Srila Madhusudan Maharaj, so wonderful personality. And so great, such a great and strong connection with our whole Guru Varga. So I just wanted to say that, to always remember that our gurus they are our living guardians. And our prayers to them will not be something just in the mind, but that will, they can give us their pillars of protection and guardianship for our life. Haribol.
And Sri Lekha Devi Dasi, she's giving you Gurudev's words, at least his expression. And she's giving you my words. I think she's reading a transcript of what I've said. Or maybe I read a transcript of what she said. Because this is really the case. This is how Gurudev has expressed, how Guru Maharaj has expressed. And what you are doing, getting to know your grandfather, this is also very wonderful. Even in the regular world, people, they hear, oh, my grandfather was such and such a person. They get to know him. They learn from their mom and dad. They learn from their aunties and uncles. And so we are sharing. We want everyone to hear what was Gurudev's nature. And as closely as possible, we want to get that information, because there are many, many things that being said and go on in the world which are not Gurudev's nature. I mean, if one expression really from me, most un-Govinda Maharaj things take place in the name of Govinda Maharaj. So we must be careful, and we must try to understand their absolutely pure, wonderful nature. And we need to be invisible and just say, look at them. Here is the maker of our fortune. Gurudev said of Guru Maharaj, he's the maker of our fortune. Hare Krishna. Kom Devi Dasi just joined us. She's arrived in Italy, but maybe Kom Didi is not aware that the clocks went backwards a long time ago. Kom Didi, you're joining us just as we're closing the back to basics. Oh, yeah. Anyway, she's just getting used to the time in Italy. She's been there a couple of days now, and we've seen beautiful pictures and lots of good things coming from Italy with the energetic savor of several continuing to transform the ashram, to develop the ashram. So we look forward to being there in person with you, Kumkum, in a few days, 10 days or so, something like that. Heading back by the grace, if it is the wish of the Lord, by the grace of the Lord, and we'll be there. So let us catch up with some news from Italy, perhaps in the next Zoom meeting. In the meantime, Kumkum's going to be heading the Monday Zoom, which is at, well, I know it's 1:30 in the night, Thailand time. But anyway, Kumkum, what time is it in Italy?
I believe it's at 7, but I better check. It might be 6 or 8.
Okay, well, there we are. What time is it now? It might be 6 or...
It's 4:12. I thought I was a few minutes late.
No, Anyhow, the clocks went back, and this is running on Navadip time. So
Okay.
that everyone adjusts. Anyway, wonderful. Come to have you with us for a short while. And if it's possible, next time we'll have you with us for a little bit longer and be happy to hear from you. So just now we're wrapping up the back to basics with encouragement for everyone to know our divine masters, and we will know them through service and through association. And association means service also. So, dear devotees, appreciating contribution from each of you, contribution by your presence. Also, I did have Zoom on, Facebook on for a short while, but the internet couldn't handle it. I know Madhava Prabhu is there, other devotees are there. And so my obeisances and appreciation for everyone on Facebook, on Zoom, and in the recorded version. Jai Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rapa Kshira Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. And Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Bhaga ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. And Jai Vishwarenya Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. All the assembled devotees ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Vrinda ki Jai. Gaur Premanandi.
Hari
Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah.
Jai Srila Bhakti Devi Maharaj ki Jai.
Amen. Super to have you all with us. Have successful days and a repeated welcome to Ramakali Prabhu. Jai. Or Hari Hari.
Dandavad, everyone.
Amra
Haribo. Jai. Want to see everybody.